Alright, so what are my thoughts on Metallica's 10th album, Hardwired to Self-Destruct? What's going on, ladies and gents? It's Cyberman coming back with another album review, and this time we're on to Metallica's 10th album. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So, when this album was kind of nearing its time to come out, the first thing that I saw was the video for Hardwired. It was only 3 minutes, and I was actually quite shocked because the last time I remember Metallica making a song that short was like, a Black Album. In hindsight, it maybe Load and stuff, so I was kind of like, I don't know. But of course, right when the riff started, and hearing the lyrics and the musicianship, I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm just looking forward to what else is coming out. Because at that point, I was like, it sounds better than Death Magnetic in regards to sound quality. And everything else is on point. I don't have any complaints. And then, of course, we got closer to the album release, and then they started releasing videos of how they recorded making the album stuff, which I thought was cool. They did it for Death Magnetic, but it came out so late after the album dropped that I was like, y'all should release this sooner to when the album was coming out. But it was probably stuff with the label like, hey, don't do that because then people won't buy the album because they already heard the album. It's like, look, man, you guys, they're talking and going over the stuff, And I felt with Hardwired Self-Destruct, they did a good job of documenting making the album. I thought that was really cool. I really liked that. And hopefully, when 72 Seasons drops, it's dropping tomorrow while I'm recording this. Hopefully that is the same thing. As far as the album itself, it wasn't anything I didn't like. I just kind of liked, in hindsight, I really liked the first half better than the second half mostly, but I still enjoyed the second half. Because they say it's a double album, but I didn't really feel like it was a double album, but I guess it is. Because how long the tracks are or something like that, I just felt like it was one full album, but I guess it's considered a double album for Metallica, the first time they released one, so I was like, okay. Overall, it was very cohesive, except there was one issue that Kurt, unfortunately, didn't have really any input, because I guess he lost all his music he had recorded for the album. He had lost it, and he wasn't really prevalent on his own soloing. Wasn't really prevalent. It was more so stuff that was kind of given to him to solo. I don't know, however you want to call it. But I didn't have any issues with it. There wasn't a track I didn't like. I felt like the album was fine the way it was. Some people have their views about it and feel it's this or that, it's not that good, or it's one of their best work. I look at it Hardwired as I don't feel it's better than Death Magnetic, but I enjoy it nonetheless. I feel it's a great follow-up. Musicianship, lyrics are great. And even it has a lot more groove to it than technically Death Magnetic did, and that's okay. I didn't have any gripes with that. If you hadn't heard it, definitely check it out after you've heard Death Magnetic for sure. It's a nice transition into that album. as far as the most, it's not really a thrash album though. It's more of a heavy metal album. The song that is the thrash of this album is "Spit Out the Bone," definitely. And it's funny because the way that song ends, it kind of opens the door again to 72 Seasons with regards to being a thrash metal album too. As far as my rating, I give it a 9 out of 10 yes sirs. It is on par with Death Magnetic. I just like Death Magnetic better. As far as my top 5 tracks, Moth to Flame, Atlas Rise, Dream No More, Hardwired, Spit Out the Bone. And then also, yeah, with the groove, it has, the album kind of has elements of Load Reload to me, along with Injustice for All. Not too much Injustice, but certain songs kind of felt like it was coming at a Load Reload time, but a lot more aggressive, I guess. Not fast, but just a groove to it, but it was really heavy when they did that. And overall, it just shows Metallica can do what they do, and it's a nice follow-up to what had already come out beforehand. It's the second album with Robert Trujillo. And I think my biggest concern, though, and it's something that I haven't said before, but I'm saying it now, and I'll definitely say it with 72 Seasons when I'm able to review that, is what I'm concerned about now with the band is how many more years do they got they can do this. That is my concern. It's bothering me more and more because as they get of an age, and it's just how many more years can, they put out music before their body finally just says you can't do it anymore. I hope that doesn't come anytime soon, but realistically, time is something we can't beat. My only hope is with what's, this guy's been around for 40 years, my hope is that if eventually it's time to stop, that they at least make a 12th album, and then that's when they kind of call it a day. And I don't mean to leave this on a bad note or a bittersweet thing. It's just the more I hear them talk about it, the more as I'm aging, I'm realizing, they're one of the few bands that's left for the metal era. A lot of them have really either they passed away or they've retired, and or prematurely have been prematurely died before their time. And this ain't, Pantera, I just, they're one of the few bands that I can continue to enjoy after all. So many things have happened to a lot of bands that I like. So I'm just hoping that they still got another 20, 30 years in them, but realistically, is that even gonna happen? So at this point, I would just say, I'm enjoying it for what I can and enjoy the time while they're around. I would say, if you like Death Magnetic, you'll more likely like this album. And it does fit with, it kind of has the option of going to hang out with the first 4 with Death Magnetic, or hanging out with Load Reload, but definitely I don't feel it fits with Black Album, and definitely not saying anything. So, with that being said, cue the music.